What's going on? What's going on? Brutus here, bringing you a cleanup series video. Alright, so let's cut right into the chase. No necessary to mess around. For this one, I'm going to select base number 23. It was hit a grand total of 23 times. It was hit a grand total of just 3 times. But there's some really good tips here that is shared, and I wanted to make a video about it because I think it's overlooked a lot of times. Alright, so looking at this base, it's very compact. So let's just talk through the attacks as they happen, and you'll see what adjustments were made in order to get this base cleared. So the bow, or T-bow, God, he told me how to pronounce this, but I also want to call him like D-bow. D-bow coming. Anyway, the bow coming, he's going to go ahead and start a shattered hobo here. 2 golems. Look at the wizard placement here. Just making sure that he got the funnel going. He wanted to make just ensure it's better safe than sorry. You don't want your bowlers to aggro onto that dark spell factory, but he more than enough wide funnel here going on. And if you, I'll pause it right here. Look at that open wall piece right here. So you don't really need a wall breaker in. Once you get your golems into here, they'll walk around and sit in the court. His bowlers comes in. Really good entry on this. Sending it all down. Out comes a loon and minion combo. And the minions defensively is really OP. I'm starting to use them on my Town Hall 10. So down goes the jump, down goes the rage for the bowlers. Sends in just a few, and this is the theme that you're going to see. A very compact base, but the hog deployment is almost surgical. So a couple of 3 hogs right here. The kill squad did its job. It's sitting pretty there. Bowlers hang out on the bottom here. And then just I think he sent a total of 10 immediately down with a heal on this cluster section right here. But no reinforcement of the hogs. He has 16 more. At this point, he lost the majority of his hogs coming in for the concentrated point defense coming in. And then he reinforces, but at this point, it's a little bit too late. So he has 10 hogs left and a high hit point X-bow up. And a high hit point wizard tower up that the hogs have to beat through. Queen is already done using the ability, but she's shooting trash buildings of high hit point storages rather than the X-bow doing work on her. And then on the back end, this was actually we'll come back to this last back end hog deployment, but there's so many of them. We'll talk about this decision here because I also use something like it or miss it. Larry traps pop up, but there is way too much hit points. I'm sorry, yeah, combined defenses with high hit points, the wizard tower and the X-bow, and given the angle that the hogs have to run around, they have to beat through those high hit points with the concentrated point defense of at least 3. We got the bow, the archer tower, and the cannon. I like the entry and the execution of the kill squad coming in and the funnel, but what we learned from this, as we see where all the giant bombs are, definitely a hog attack is the right answer for this base because there's no DGBs. We'll back out. But what we learned from that is the concentrated defense that you have on a Town Hall 9 like that, as we go to my attempt to clean up on this. There it is right here. All right, so we'll pause it here. Here's the adjustments. Funnel, the entry worked great. We'll push play. We didn't need to put a wizard here though. And given where this cannon comes out, I want to make sure I just put the wizard just below it right there. So when this camp goes, barracks goes down, it'll hit onto this. Eventually he'll get sniped possibly from there, but he'll step upward with these 2 wizards right here to help form that part of the funnel. And then I didn't put a wizard here at all. You'll see how I put the wizards on the right side. So I put it on this tip here so that when this structure goes down, that's the next thing that they hit, and then they'll step up to get that. So just for 5, I think? Yeah, 5 wizards. And then I have 1 wizard for cleanup, and I think I reinforced the kill squad with another wizard. But the entry was solid, I felt. So entering in here, yep, backed up, there's the 6 wizard. Everybody's coming in. Everything going business as usual. Poison to greet the CC. I believe I missed my poison because you want to drop it. The loons and anything that's air, you want to drop it on the shadow. There's little shadows that these things cast on the ground. There it is right there. You want to drop the poison on the shadow and not the actual troop itself, or else it's 2 tiles too high. So I really believe if you look at my poison placement, I didn't really I didn't really grab it. So knowing that there was a DGB, not a DGB, giant bomb right here, I just wanted to send a few hogs, 3 or 4, to get these, basically so that my bowlers don't aggro this way. I wanted my bowlers to reroute going inward, but I also brought a giant to get this little giant bomb right here because my cleanup wizard's going to come around the outside here, and I didn't want him to die. That was the plan. So down they go. I'm still got a few hogs coming in. They're safe coming on in. But then here's the adjustment being made right here. I go heavy. Of the 22 hogs, I send a good like 2/3 of them right away with this. And I know that there's I know I got to greet them with the heal because let's count how many point defense we have. Archer tower, cannon, 2 Teslas. That is 3 point defenses. As soon as this hog goes down, that is 3, and including that archer tower, 4 point defenses. If you combine that up, let's just ballpark this out on the safe low side to say that the DPS is 70 times 4. That is 280. 280 DPS coming at a single hog. Even though they're under heal, you're going to start to lose hogs being picked out and they get thinned out, which is why you want to go heavy with your hog deployment, even a simple 2-finger drop, which is what I did, which is commonly overlooked nowadays because bases, anti-3 is usually spread out a bit more and surgical usually works. So heavy on the hog deployment here, making sure that if I lost too many to springs, like 6, I'd be okay. My giants are already going to walk over this giant bomb. I see that they're okay here, so I start reinforcing the herd at a heal down for this high stall out section right here. So there's the problem. So there's a giant bomb right in between this area. I figured I should have kept 3 hogs. They're okay coming into this, but watch the pathing. I thought I could come just below the giant bomb that's going to be above there as the hogs go up, take down the archer tower. This is all part of the pathing that I saw coming up into this right there. So my heal was about 2 seconds too soon. If the heal was 2 seconds later, you'll see it here. All of them keep under heal, and they come in healthy with my poison I kept for the Larry chaps there, but they basically run in all wounded into the wizard tower. So if I kept 4 or 5 hogs just for the back end right here, that's all that was needed. As you see, the queen abilities going on, or I could have just sent 4 or 5 right at this angle to basically come over and then trip the giant bomb ahead of time. So really poor execution on my end of the back end hogs. So we saw a little bit of that with the bow. That he kept too many though. He kept 10 hogs for the back end, which is what would have made the 3 on this, but wasn't heavy enough on the initial entry. It was too surgical like with that going into the teeth of concentrated DPS. So seeing those 2 things, we have the master coming in here, Quay. On cleanup duty, the 3rd attempt to clean this base. And yeah, we saw it was a 3. He does a little bit different though. Seeing all the traps and things that he saw, he decides to take on to this angle for the queen walk. He does have a max 30 queen. Not that the ones before that couldn't do it with less than max. But the point defense, he'll hit 3 at 1 immediate time. And then the Tesla pops. So he had a rage for the walk. Once this goes down, he'll comfortably get this next part here because the queen will be under a rage. And he's already starting to sprinkle in just the CC lure. So he has a poison for that. Didn't go quite as planned, I believe, because he's got a little bit of rerouting going on. And then the minions lock onto the healer, and he makes a smart decision to just on the fly to drop down one of those wizards that basically get raped by the Larrys and the minions, but it did its job. He saved some healers, part of his walk. So now that back end portion of your hog pathing is out of the question. He only has one golem versus a shattered approach, which was the main difference on this. And it was, really had a great return on investment and a good adjustment given the 2 failures he just saw before this. Oh, and then the entry point is still the same, entering this way. Got to get to that queen. And then both Larrys are now out of the question, so he can drop his poison on the queen as well, weaken her up as everything gets into the party here. Still a hobo attack. And then he sends the remaining portion. He only has 16 hogs, and he has 1 heal. So He sends a few more DPS. If you see these hogs right here, he sends a few more DPS to help take care of this stuff while these defenses are distracted at the core golem and BK and queen walk going on. So I thought that was also small. Look how he takes down that. They take down the sweeper, and it was really good, really nice complimentary coming in. Then he sends his majority of his hogs coming in at the bottom side, and as they converge, he keeps them under heal right at this stall out section that you'll see coming up. Still has healers up here. Actually, maybe he doesn't use the heal. Holy crap. The heal, oh, there it is. So a little bit slight tweaks on the first phase of the attack, and they still end up ending on that giant bomb there. But there was no threat of the wizards on the far right hand side that he invested just 2 hogs, part of his kill squad push as well, before the main attacking hogs came from the 8 and 11 o'clock position coming in, converging on a heal. So really nice job. What we could take from this, that I took from this, is that when you have concentrated defenses like that, the 2-finger drop is not dead, especially if there's really no DGB pathing. You can just follow don't fall asleep. Follow your hogs around the base, dropping heal as needed. The combined DPS that your hogs do will outweigh the concentrated DPS coming at them when they're under heal, kind of deal. So hope you enjoyed those cleanup attacks. Once again, it's Brutus reminding you got to be better than a double, and I will check you next time.